Hello ladies, hope you are ready for some motivation to do some summer cleaning and decluttering and organizing, because I have plenty of that for you in this video. What we are tackling today is two areas of my house. First one is my son's room. There is just basically his desk area, really, that I needed to go through some paperwork to get him all settled for a new school year. And as you can see, he's there to assist. I was just trying to quickly go through some of the stuff and make sure that I'm not throwing anything away. What you're not gonna see is I gave him, I think, 2 piles of different papers I found in his cabinet that was behind me for him to go through and basically sort out what he wanted to keep in like his keepsake box, what he needed in his room, and what could be thrown away. So he was doing that for the time when I was kind of sorting through his desk. And the second area we're gonna tackle in my house is part of the basement. So if you are new here, I have done huge decluttering of my basement, which is basically like our storage area, laundry room, like things like that. And there is one area in my basement where I did declutter, but there's still like boxes of keepsakes and just different things that were harder to declutter because, you know, they're sentimental. So I kind of left that alone for a long time. And this video is where I finally tackled that. So that's gonna come in a few minutes. But first, we are starting with his desk, trying to get ready for back to school, because that for us is only a week away. So I don't know about you if you already started, but we're in the final stretch. So over the summer, I did a lot of decluttering projects. I documented some of it here on my channel if you wanted to check it out. And I definitely feel more ready for back to school this time around than I think I have ever felt. And that is both because I feel prepared, and also I think, you know, which is actually the case for me every year. Towards the end, I'm just ready for more structure, back to our routine. I think kids start to get anxious and just they're craving the routine as well. So we're definitely excited for back to school. Let me know if you are excited for all that back to school has to offer for you as well.
Hello, how'd you do? I'm not broken, I'm just split in two. Hope you're fine, ain't got time to do everything you said you would. Frames of the past and the memory of you just come running by. Pictures of sunny days with your smile and the bar. How could they say I was broken? How could they say you made me come undone?
If you are new here, welcome. My name is Marta. I am a full-time working mom. I work as an analyst for a healthcare organization, and I have 2 kids. We have an 11-year-old son, so that's his room we're going through. He is starting middle school, so that's both exciting and a little scary because we just don't know what to expect. And we also have a 7-year-old who is starting 2nd grade. And on my channel, you're just gonna find a lot of home management related content. So anything from decluttering, organizing, different routines, anything and everything that has to do with just trying to efficiently manage your house. And as I was going through my son's room, you know, I don't know if your kids are the same way. Now that he's 11, I would say for the past maybe 2 years, he's spending more time in his room. But when it comes to things like homework, still majority of that is happening like in our living space, where either he sits somewhere, but usually he doesn't require any help, but he just kind of still chooses to be somewhere close by when he's doing his homework. I can't really say anything about my daughter because last year in our school district they had no homework. So if she was reading with me. But let me know if your kids are the same way. If they spend more time in the room, is it more with still in the living space? How does the homework work for you as well? I'm just curious how that looks for you guys as well. But definitely with like playing and stuff, that I have definitely noticed over the past 2 years that he chooses to just be in his room in his own space. So definitely can see he's definitely growing up. Before it was definitely more with us. Now it's more like, for the homework part of it. But we will see how that or if that changes once he actually starts middle school. So in his room, because he's spending a little bit more time there, he has some Legos and not a lot of stuff still. So there was not that much to really go through. It was literally just his desk. And then because my daughter noticed that I was helping her brother with decluttering, organizing, she at the same time as I was doing that, she wanted to organize her little cabinet. So she called me, she told me to get rid of some stuff. Well, she put it on the floor. She said she doesn't want it, so I packed that away. And so we did an extra bonus of that little shelving unit in her room that she wanted to clean and declutter. So it was very encouraging to see that she just got motivated by seeing me doing something. And I did talk about it in my last video that kids definitely do see what you're doing, and while decluttering and organizing and cleaning, all of that might be not something that they necessarily want to do or participate in at first, with time it's definitely improving quite a bit and they just take initiative. So those are all the things I am getting rid of. One bag from her room, one bag from my son's room, and definitely much cleaner slate to start the school year.
Stepped into my life, such a magic feeling when you tore down my walls. I wish I could go back to right before.
And now we are down in the basement. So I have two kind of shelving units here. On the left is all that you saw, like paper goods and like extra toiletries and beauty products, all of that. On the right side, on the bottom, we have like dog food, some cooler wrapping paper, a lot of organizing boxes and bins. But most of the stuff on the right side is really like the paperwork and artwork that I saved from for my kids for the past, whenever since they started school, really. And that was really my main goal for this space today, to kind of tackle that. I wanted there was just a lot of different boxes, small boxes holding for different years, and I wanted to organize it and put one big bin for each of them and kind of just organize it that way. And there were also, you're gonna see later, some of like their taekwondo stuff that I have saved, and I really wanted to go through that. And I will tell you, it was very hard to get motivated to start that because I knew it's just tedious and it's papers and I didn't really want to do it. That's why it took me so long. But I am glad I finally did it, but I am also glad that I did wait. And that is because if I would have started my decluttering journey with that, I probably would have stopped because it was just a lot. So if you are starting a decluttering journey, don't start with something that you know is going to be very hard for you to go through. Start with something easy so you can just see the progress, and that's going to keep you motivated.
You were my best friend. Didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you, you and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters, stray around like nights.
So I was just going through those bins. I kind of had it organized. One bin was for like shampoos and soaps, and the other one was more for like cleaning products. And I'd like to keep some extras in here, but I did get rid of some of the things because as I have gone through like this whole decluttering journey, I noticed that I am just more leaning towards simplifying everything. So even like trying to get less variety, if you will, of cleaning products. I still have quite a bit, don't get me wrong, but I noticed that there were some things that I have not used in a long time, and I'm getting into a good habit of, okay, you haven't been using that, you're probably not gonna use it. So that's why you see some of the things from cleaning products or even some beauty products. If it has been done for a while and I'm still like, well, maybe I will use it someday, I am now at the place where I'm confident and say, you haven't used it for a while, it's going away. And it's not as tedious and feeling overwhelming as it was at the beginning, where I just wanted to keep everything, just in case. So definitely a lot of progress over the past 2 years. And let me know, what type of items in your house do you have like the hardest time letting go of? Is there like a specific category that you have? Like, is it beauty products? Is it shoes, clothes? Do you have any of that? Definitely let me know down below. In those 2 boxes, it's something I didn't get into this time, and I was going to, but I really wanted to tackle that right side. So I left those 2 boxes on the floor for next time. And those boxes really have like party supplies and different like table covers and runners and things like that. So I don't think there's a lot of stuff, but I did want to go through it, but I decided, you know what, I'm gonna keep that for next time. So as I mentioned before, my system for those papers is to just group them together by, the year. So whether that was a first grade or second grade, which it was already kind of sorted. It was just too many of different boxes. Put like sort of like a first page that explains what grade that was in. And I just put rubber bands around it to kind of keep it in one spot. So it's not the prettiest. I was debating on getting like a bin. I've seen it on a lot of either like YouTube channels, or I think it's some on Instagram, where you have like a files inside the bin. But I realized that I have too many of some of the papers for kids for some grades, and it just wouldn't fit. And I figured, you know what, if I ever want to do that, I can always upgrade down the road. But I'm trying to keep it simple and just organize it so it is in one bin, because I know in the past I used to get sidetracked with really trying to get things to look pretty and just really like that, Pinterest perfect. And if I don't have like a good labor make it, or even at some point, honestly, I was considering getting like a Cricut machine. And because it's just, I like when things are looking aesthetically pleasing. But there has to be a time where you kind of have to step back and decide that it's not like I can never change this. For right now, I don't need a Cricut machine. I barely have time to do any scrapbooking. It's still waiting for me to do some of the baby books that I planned on doing. So instead of trying to have that, shiny object syndrome, I think that's what they call it, I decided, what, let's be simple. Let's put it in a box. If we want to make it prettier at some point because I have more time, I can do some more research and do that. But for now, let's just organize it so it's easy to find, it is safely stored away, and not in a million boxes, and declutter those plastic boxes. I mean, you can see I just took it out from like a wipes container from that some of that stuff was in. So I was so glad I did it, but it did take a long time. And I think I stopped for a while here because I couldn't find, I think it was my daughter's kindergarten papers. I was freaking out a little bit. I eventually found it, but it was just tedious. That's what it was. That's why I didn't want to do it for so long, because it's just made me feel overwhelmed. But you know what, sometimes you at some point you do have to just take that step and start decluttering that area that you don't want to declutter at all.
I get so caught up in the middle, thinking of drowning in those blue eyes. I'm losing sight 'cause I am falling. I'm so deep down, and it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide what this is. Yeah, I keep drowning in those blue eyes, and you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire.
Another benefit of kind of waiting so long to do this is, besides what I said before, it was tedious. If I would have started in this area, I would not be able to get rid of as much stuff as I did this time around, because I have learned that with decluttering, you kind of have to start in a space, or with not even a space, with things that are easier to declutter, not sentimental, like those things I'm decluttering today, because then you're just, it's so much harder for you to do that. But once you declutter other spaces, it's becoming much easier, and you have an easier time making those decisions. So you're gonna see at the end of this video how much stuff I truly got rid of. Those are how the bins look like. It's really not looking pretty. It's just grouped into areas, covered, and put on a shelf. That I did what I set out to do. It's like I said, it did take forever. And the second thing you're gonna see me start doing is going through their taekwondo kind of keepsakes. So at first it was just my son doing taekwondo, and then my daughter joined. So after each belt testing, where we go, it's a lot of it. I think every 2 months or so. So I was saving their belt and their board, and I was putting dates when that happened. So this is a great example of the difference between being organized and clutter free. What I mean by that is, a lot of time when we declutter, we don't really declutter, we organized. So that's what I was doing. I was very organized. I have everything labeled in different Ziploc bag. I knew exactly where it was, but that was all clutter. Truly, when I went back right now, I know that this is not something that I need to keep. I kept one board. That was the first board I broke. And I kept their belts because eventually I want to do it in the room, like put it on a display. So they have all the belts that they have gotten. And that's going to be something great, because that's, they can enjoy it. They can look at it, in the room every day, instead of it being in a basement. But initially it was just, let's keep everything. It's nicely organized. But that's why it's great to start your decluttering with actually decluttering, and not organizing, because organized people also can have a lot of clutter. It's just, organized nicely. So like I said, eventually I will get to display those belts. For now, I'm just putting it in a bin. But as you can see, I had one smaller bin for each child, so I could separate those belts, knowing whose belt belongs to whom. Before, it was a giant bin with all those boards, and besides, I couldn't fit it in that actually, so it was like overflowing on both sides. So it was just a mess. So that was another one that took a while, but I mean, you're gonna see in a second how much space that was truly taking up on that shelving unit.
If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, yeah, I can carry all that you've got. Two heavy hearts is not a lot. I will put out.
And then finally got to the bottom of that shelving unit, and it was dog treats and food. And I have gone through this before, and I'm pretty sure it was shared a few times on it. When we got our dog as a puppy, we used a lot of treats as part of her training. And now we just don't use it as much. And things just, I was signed up for the bark box for a long time. So I was getting those treats every month for her. And it just has gotten out of control. So I sorted through that and just kept the few snacks that she actually likes, because her taste also changed. She doesn't like half of it. And the rest of them, I'm just going to donate. There was a couple that I had to throw away because they expired. But the rest, I mean, if she doesn't use it, another dog can definitely use that. So another win for that space. But as you can see, that was a lot of stuff that I have gotten rid of. It was, I think, 2 giant garbage bags, and then I think 2 boxes of recycles. So, and if I seem very excited about this in this video, that's because I am. However, I don't want to hide that this was overwhelming. There were a few times where I honestly wanted to stop, and it might not seem to you that there was that much stuff, because it's really 2 shelving units and mostly decluttering one of them. But it did feel overwhelming for some reason. I don't know if that was because it was the sentimental stuff, because it was just a lot of papers. I don't know what it was, but it definitely was hard to do, but definitely thankful that I did power through, and that area is done. So let me know if there is an area in your house that you are dreading to get started, that you're kind of putting off, because this is exactly why you're afraid that it's just gonna feel overwhelming for you. So let me know down in the comments.
'Cause you want dollar bills right now, but you gotta work real hard. I know you want it to be easy, so let your guard down. And I said, see it in your mind, trust that, have what it takes inside, 'cause you can make it too, if not says who, yeah, you can make it too, if not says who.
And of course, lastly, trying to organize and get rid of some of those plastic containers, because I have too many. I have been holding on to some of them, because if I need to organize some of the things, I want to have them handy. But it was time to get rid of some of them. Some of them were broken, some of them were missing lids. So I did get rid of some of them. And I am getting close to a point where my house is in a maintenance mode. So I'm guessing pretty soon I will be getting rid of most of those, because what's the point of keeping empty containers and boxes if there is no need for them? And of course, the reason why I have so many of them is because in previous times when I tried to declutter, so we're talking years ago, anytime I would start the decluttering project, it started with buying organizers, buying bins, plastic boxes, you name it. That was always the starting point. So that's what I mentioned before, that, over the past 2 years, I have learned that I first need to actually get rid of things, and then I can attempt to organize. And even when I organize, I tend to just put it in what I have, give it some time, let me kind of figure out that that's actually working or not, and then try to upgrade when needed, when I know exactly that I am set on a specific organizational way. So I don't know if you can see the difference. I know I can, especially on that right side. There is a lot of empty spots, empty space in there. And that is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to get rid of the things that were not there. So hopefully this video gave you some motivation to tackle whatever areas you have in your house. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
But something knocked you out. You felt your limitations and filled your mind